I think the numbers can be sort of somewhat confusing because in a way we're at 47%, but we've been steadily declining over the past couple of weeks. And I'm curious if you think that is all due to Omicron.
Not all. Some of this is normal seasonal shifts in occupancies that we would see, but certainly in a market like New York, we've seen a bit of a slowdown last week compared to how performance for hotels occupancy had been happening in New York. New York had been on a real upward trajectory over the last several weeks. 2 weeks ago, that saw the highest occupancy of all markets in the U.S. And then obviously over the last week, all we've heard about in New York is number of COVID cases, Broadway shutting down, lots of service disruptions. And so we have seen some impact there in the market.
How do you think,
like New York?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I actually reported on this just 2 weeks ago about New York being the single highest occupancy rate across the nation after being one of the worst performing markets for so many months following the pandemic. But I want to get your thoughts on what's happening with the airlines, thousands of flight cancellations. How is that having an ancillary impact on the hotel sector? We know hotels, they rely on people to travel, and a lot of times people have to travel by air to get to the vacation.
Well, hotel occupancy has remained up. So we are still seeing recovery. And in fact, last week during Christmas week, airport hotels had the second highest occupancy of all property types. And that's really, you can see the service disruption from airlines there going into the hotel demand going into airport hotels.
That's so interesting. Prices, as we've looked at your data, suggest that they're holding up pretty well. And I'm wondering if you think that continues in 2022.
Absolutely. On a nominal basis, we're just above where we were in 2019. But if you take into account inflation, we're actually still trailing our 2019 ADR basis. We'll still see rates moving up as occupancy continues to grow over the course of 2022. You know, hotel occupancy is hotels' general performance is very resilient. 2022, we'll still see a lot of recovery. By the end of 2022, we expect hotel demand and hotel ADR to be back to where we were before the pandemic.
Amanda, what's your big prediction for next year? Marriott buys Airbnb, we see consolidation, or what's your big sort of bold bet?
You know, it's probably just on travel and hotel performance as a whole. We'll continue to see that recovery so we can get back to where we were at 2019. And hotel owners are going to be focused on continuing to drive the bottom line because we've still got several years to go to get back to our pre-pandemic levels when you're talking about the bottom line for these hotel owners.